Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic. Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done.
That's her thanks to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her and made her. So she's an ingrate. She's annoying, and I think she's probably two and done.
Rachel Zegler, Disney's latest it girl turned headline headache, is officially Hollywood's newest cautionary tale. You might remember her from that shiny Spielberg debut in West Side Story, but lately, Rachel's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her meteoric rise to fame has quickly pivoted into a spectacular flameout, complete with social media meltdowns, international disappearances, and corporate panic behind the scenes. Seriously, even Tinkerbell couldn't sprinkle enough pixie dust to fix this disaster. From the second Rachel landed the coveted role of Snow White, she seemed ready to challenge just about every fairy tale trope in existence. And look, modernizing a classic is one thing, but it turns out audiences aren't exactly thrilled when you completely dismantle the very charm that made the original beloved. I mean, who would have guessed that fans of Snow White actually wanted, Snow White? But Rachel clearly had other ideas, and her outspoken criticism quickly turned what should have been Disney's crown jewel into the cinematic equivalent of a rotten apple.
Don't alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
Now, Rachel wasn't exactly subtle about her disdain for classic fairy tale romances. Forget Someday My Prince Will Come. Zegler seemed intent on rewriting the narrative to Someday My Lawyer Will Come. She publicly trashed the prince as a stalker, claimed the original story was weird, and dismissed the whole idea of a princess looking for true love as outdated nonsense. While critics accused her of being dismissive and arrogant, fans took it personally, like really personal. One Twitter user summed it up best: Rachel Zegler woke up and chose violence against our childhoods. But Rachel's biggest sin wasn't necessarily her opinions, it was her attitude. Disney fans aren't exactly known for subtlety or restraint, so when Rachel treated the iconic Snow White gown like a prison jumpsuit, mocking how she deserved to be paid for every hour she wore it, the internet went wild. Seriously, Rachel? Cry me a river of Disney dollars. Did Mickey Mouse not sign your paycheck? Last I checked, you weren't exactly clocking in at Starbucks between takes.
Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck? Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, all 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one. Cry me a river. She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
This tone-deaf attitude was bad enough, but her insistence on turning her media appearances into mini lectures on feminism and politics made it clear. Rachel was less interested in Snow White and more interested in being Hollywood's new woke spokesperson. Suddenly, viewers felt like they were attending a TED Talk rather than a Disney premiere. The backlash wasn't just swift, it was ruthless. Hashtag boycott Snow White became a thing faster than you could whistle while you work, and the internet gleefully watched as Disney's Golden Girl turned into PR poison overnight. Get out of the way, Blake Lively. Now, normally when a film flops, the studio quietly moves on. But this wasn't just any flop. This was a Disney-level disaster. Industry analysts predicted up to a $250 million loss.
So she just encapsulates everything that most of us cannot stand about modern-day feminism and the left in general, and Hollywood.
To put that into perspective, Disney could have filmed actual dwarfs mining actual diamonds and still spent less money. Executives reportedly panicked, convening emergency meetings to discuss their options, and by options, they meant ways to get Rachel Zegler to pay up for tanking a billion-dollar franchise. Imagine Disney execs staring at spreadsheets and realizing their star princess had just poisoned the apple. But if you think Rachel stayed to face the music, think again. In a twist worthy of a Hollywood thriller, she vanished, literally fled overseas to Dubai. You know things are bad when a star decides Dubai's desert heat is preferable to Hollywood spotlight. Fans and conspiracy theorists went nuts, speculating why Rachel suddenly went dark. Was she hiding from lawsuits, dodging Disney lawyers, or was this just a luxurious attempt at avoiding mean tweets? One thing's for sure, nobody vacations in Dubai without an ulterior motive, especially someone currently embroiled in Hollywood's biggest scandal.
Where Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, angrily saying, "Did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?"
Of course, Rachel's sudden disappearance left Disney execs scrambling even more. Rumors swirled that Disney might invoke morality clauses or claw back part of her salary. Imagine being the executive tasked with telling Rachel Zegler she owes Disney millions. Talk about your fairy tale nightmares. But this situation was so unprecedented that even seasoned Hollywood lawyers didn't know exactly how to proceed. There's no what to do when your star actress tanks your film with tweets clause in Disney's handbook. Yet. Making matters worse, Rachel's attempt at an apology only intensified the backlash. Industry insiders whispered that the carefully crafted Instagram apology wasn't actually hers at all. Apparently, Disney's PR team took full control. It had all the authenticity of a Frozen sequel, manufactured, predictable, and ice cold. Fans quickly dissected the apology, noting how corporate it felt.
And instead of being humble and grateful, she was entitled and a snot. 25,000 more just like her knocking on the same doors that she had opened to her. She had the opportunity of a lifetime, and I will look forward to her not getting cast in any more movies for a long time until she actually does learn something about humanity and humility.
There were even rumors that Rachel initially resisted posting it, but was persuaded by frantic studio executives. Nothing says genuine remorse like being contractually obligated to apologize, right? But here's where the plot thickens. Some suspect Rachel's dramatic exit to Dubai might not be just a quick vacation. Did she jet off to consult with international lawyers, or is she perhaps fleeing from more than just PR backlash? Could Disney genuinely be gearing up to take legal action? The fact she deleted comments, scrubbed social media interactions, and completely halted her public appearances strongly suggests there's more than meets the eye. Social media sleuths have been obsessively tracking private jet records and combing through deleted content, desperate to figure out her next move. Honestly, at this point, Rachel's Dubai adventure is starting to sound less like a retreat and more like a real-life escape situation.
When it got announced, it was a huge...
You mean your guess is as good as mine, ethnicity?
It was trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry. I don't particularly see people who, look like me or are me playing roles like that.
There's nothing more effective than 19-year-olds educating the rest of the voting public while yelling, "Okay, boomer."
All of this would be juicy enough, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Behind closed doors, rumors suggest Rachel is emotionally shattered by how quickly things unraveled. Friends describe her as devastated, broken, and even scared. After all, she went from Spielberg's Golden Girl to Disney's public enemy #1 in record time. Imagine waking up one morning beloved and by lunchtime realizing you're less popular than Jar Jar Binks. Ever heard? No, that's the point. Her team is reportedly split on how to handle things. Half want a redemption tour, the other half suggest Rachel might want to consider a new career altogether. Maybe something quiet like bookkeeping or underwater basket weaving.
They didn't earn it the same way, and so it comes with this entitlement. This person was born looking a certain way and has a God-given ability to lie. The movie went over budget, right? Went over about $250 million.
But whether Rachel deserves all this hate is still up for debate. Some argue Disney set her up to fail from the beginning, handing her a script that alienated fans and then leaving her to face the backlash alone. Others insist Rachel brought this on herself, sabotaging a golden opportunity with careless comments and arrogant behavior. Either way, the situation has become a Hollywood cautionary tale. In the era of social media, stars need to tread carefully because one wrong comment can ignite a wildfire that even Disney's deep pockets can't extinguish. And now the question everyone's asking, what happens next? Will Rachel return from Dubai, refreshed and ready for redemption, or is she destined to become another Hollywood ghost, talked about in hushed tones but rarely seen again? Sources inside the industry are already hinting at canceled future projects, producers quietly distancing themselves, and a general hesitation to work with the actress who single-handedly tarnished Disney's brand.
Rachel Zegler. And I've got no real issue with that, although of course Snow White was called Snow White because her skin was as white as the snow.
Rachel's career now hangs by a thread thinner than Cinderella's glass slipper. But here's the real kicker. Disney itself is now scrambling not just to salvage Snow White, but to protect its future remakes. This debacle may change how Hollywood approaches casting, marketing, and even contracts. Industry insiders say Rachel Zegler's controversy could serve as a wake-up call, prompting studios to conduct deeper background checks, craft stricter morality clauses, and more carefully manage their stars' public personas. Basically, Rachel may have unintentionally reshaped Hollywood, though perhaps not in the way she dreamed. Exile is the final chapter of Rachel Zegler's Hollywood narrative, which reads like a Greek tragedy in the end: celebrity, ambition, and ultimate failure. The legacy she leaves behind is now defined more by controversy than by brilliance, regardless of whether or not she intended it to be so.
Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself.
The question that everyone is wondering about is whether or not this Disney princess turned villain will ever be able to find her happily ever after, or whether she will be known as the celebrity who poisoned her own apple. Fans and haters are watching intently while this is happening. Disney, meanwhile, must contend with the reality that modernizing classic stories is a double-edged sword. Step too far, and audiences revolt. Rachel's saga serves as a stark reminder that even the Magic Kingdom isn't immune from real-world backlash. When fairy tale dreams meet woke reality, sparks don't just fly, they explode. So what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler a misunderstood victim of a corporate mess? Or is she Hollywood's latest cautionary tale about ego and entitlement gone wrong? And can she ever recover from this massive fallout, or is her career destined for permanent exile? One thing's certain, the Rachel Zegler drama is far from over. Hollywood, Disney, and Rachel herself have a lot of tough decisions ahead, so stay tuned. The Magic Kingdom's latest scandal is one you don't want to miss. Till then, see you next time.